Is the car market showing signs of trouble? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. The car market is going through a somewhat rocky period, and we are beginning to see areas where car inventory is starting to pile up. But it's not what you might be hoping for. I'm going to share the slowest selling vehicles on the market right now that dealerships are desperate to sell, that have massive discounts and plenty of negotiating room. And I'm also going to share which vehicles are the total opposite. This data comes from CarEdge, and although it is for the US market, the Canadian market is really not that different. Let's begin with the slowest selling vehicles that have lots of negotiating room and huge discounts. And the first one in the number 10 spot is the Jeep Gladiator. According to CarEdge, there is a 219-day market supply for the Gladiator, which means that if Jeep stopped production entirely, it would take nearly 2/3 of the year to sell all of the existing supply. And I'm really not too surprised. The Gladiator is a pretty poor choice for a truck. It's hideously expensive to buy, and clearly most consumers agree. The next vehicle that's in the number 9 spot is the Ram 2500 pickup truck, which has a 231-day market supply. 2024 is a very slow time for truck sales. Prices have become totally absurd, and consumers have just stopped buying. Unless we see a dramatic change in prices, that isn't likely going to change anytime soon. Another vehicle category that's seriously struggling right now are full-sized SUVs, which is why the next vehicle that's in the number 8 spot is the Lincoln Navigator. The Navigator has a 247 market day supply. And just ahead of the Navigator in the number 7 spot is the Jeep Wagoneer, which has a 258 market day supply. The major issue with these full-sized SUVs is price. Like trucks, they are incredibly expensive, often approaching or even surpassing 6 figures. And frankly, they're just not worth it in any way. The next vehicle that's in the number 6 spot is the first electric vehicle, and that is the Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Blazer EV has a 274 market day supply. I recently test drove the Blazer EV, and although I actually did enjoy driving it, I can understand why consumers are shying away. Not only is it very expensive, but it recently went through a total stop sale due to severe reliability issues, which has likely scared potential buyers away, at least for now, until they feel confident that the problems have been fixed. The next vehicle that comes in the number 5 spot is another Chevy, and that is the Chevy Traverse. The Traverse has a 296 market day supply. This means that it'll take dealers close to 1 year to sell all of the current inventory. And next up at number 4 is the Nissan Titan, which has a 305 market day supply. The Titan has always been a very slow seller, and now that Nissan has stopped producing it, and parts availability is becoming more of a concern in consumers' minds, it's no surprise that sales are seriously struggling. The next vehicle at number 3 is the Volvo C40, which has a 386-day market supply. This one is a small electric crossover, but it's not a really appealing one due to limited driving range, a lack of cargo space, and very high pricing that makes it not so great of a buy. And consumers seem to agree. And now for the second slowest selling vehicle on the market right now. And that vehicle would be the Dodge Hornet. The Hornet has an incredible 550-day market supply. The Hornet has had one of the most dismal market launches probably in modern history. Despite being an all-new product, consumers have next to no interest in it, which makes sense when you consider what a poor value and what an underwhelming vehicle it is. And now for the number 1 slowest selling vehicle on the market right now, and that would be the Jaguar I-Pace. The I-Pace has an incredible 575-day market supply, which means that it'll take around a year and a half for dealers to sell all the existing inventory. In terms of price, reliability, performance, and just about everything else, the I-Pace is a poor choice of a vehicle in almost every conceivable way. And that goes without saying considering that virtually no one is buying it. Now, keep in mind, even though these vehicles are sitting on dealership lots, which means that there's likely plenty of negotiating room and likely also massive discounts available, that doesn't necessarily mean that any of them are a good value. The reason these vehicles are not selling is because they are just poor choices and still way overpriced, even if you buy one at a huge discount. The loss of value and depreciation will be so rapid that they will end up costing you in the end. And now let's take a look at the top 10 vehicles that are the fastest selling and have the lowest market day supply. Now, you're not likely going to be able to score an amazing deal with large discounts on any of these particular vehicles, but that doesn't seem to have any impact on their demand or their appeal. The first one that we have in the number 10 spot is the Ford Maverick. The Maverick only has a 48 market day supply. Being one of the few somewhat affordable trucks, the Maverick has been a hot seller since its launch, and proof that affordability really sells. But you can't really use that argument for the next fastest selling vehicle that came in the number 9 spot, and that is the Land Rover Range Rover Sport. The Range Rover Sport only has a 38 market day supply. Although they do have their issues, Range Rovers are very hot sellers, and there are plenty of wealthy consumers who want them, despite the limited supply. The next vehicle that came in the number 8 spot, however, is a far more sensible one, and that is the Honda Civic. Like the Range Rover Sport, the Civic has a 38 market day supply. As I said, affordability sells, and for someone on a budget, it is tough to find a better choice than the Civic, all things considered. And the same argument also holds true for the next vehicle or even the next group of vehicles, the first of which in the number 7 spot is the Toyota Corolla Cross. The Corolla Cross only has a 36 market day supply, which is no surprise considering that it is one of the most affordable and considered one of the most reliable small crossovers, making it extremely popular. And the same is true of the next vehicle at number 6, being the Toyota RAV4, which only has a 31 market day supply. Again, another very high demand vehicle that's affordable, reliable, and a great buy. And just ahead of the RAV4 at number 5 is the Toyota Highlander, with only a 30-day market supply. And just ahead of the Highlander in the number 4 spot, that's the Toyota Corolla, with only a 26-day market supply. Again, another very high value, affordable, and reliable vehicle that many consumers want, but the supply is just not able to keep up. And then in the number 3 spot, we have the Toyota Camry, which only has a 23-day market supply. And tying it in the number 2 spot, that would be the Toyota Sienna minivan, again with only a 23-day market supply. High value, affordable pricing, fuel economy, and reliability are some of the main characteristics that consumers are looking for in a vehicle, which is exactly why these particular vehicles are in extremely high demand and are selling remarkably fast, often with next to no discounts and no incentives. And then switching things up a little bit, the fastest selling vehicle on the market right now that comes in the number 1 spot, that would be the Land Rover Range Rover. The full-sized Range Rover only has a 20-day market supply, showing that not only are these expensive luxury SUVs difficult to get, but there are plenty of consumers out there with extremely deep pockets that really want to get their hands on one. Aside from the Range Rovers, however, the entire list of low market supply vehicles consists of desirable, affordable options that consumers generally tend to gravitate towards. In fact, the demand for these vehicles is so strong that most still have very long waiting periods in certain regions, which means that the actual market day supply is really zero. This is especially true for Toyota, which 6 out of the 10 vehicles on the list are. Toyota makes some of the most reliable, affordable, and cost-effective vehicles to own. The demand for them is extraordinarily high, and even if you have to pay full price for one with no discounts and no incentives, it won't matter much in the long run, because you will be rewarded with low running costs and very high resale value when it comes time to sell. That's exactly why I always say there is a lot more to value than just the purchase price of the vehicle alone. So, which of these vehicles would you consider purchasing and which would you just stay away from? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.